welcome to Bushido 3, the talk show. Today we are joined by Brendon Shoemaker. I hope I said that right. Did I say it right, sir?
That is correct.
All right. So today we're just going to be talking to the head Muay Thai boxing instructor from Fight Prime in Madison, Wisconsin. So, do you like to be called Crew Shoemaker, Brendon? What do you go by?
I kind of give people the leeway to call me however they want or address me however they want. Usually people will call me Crew Shoemaker, Crew Shoe. I used to be known as or still I'm known as the Honey Badger. So that was my fight nickname back in the day. But most people call me Crew or Coach.
Okay. How'd you get the nickname or the fight name as Honey Badger?
Yeah, so at my the gym that I used to fight out of, the Blast Muay Thai Kickboxing, also in Madison, when I was training under Crew Mike Vaughn, there was a couple of practices where he had some professional fighters or some like real high quality kickboxers, MMA guys that were training in the gym, and they were looking for sparring partners, and nobody really wanted to spar them. So I was actually relatively new, probably less than a year into the sport at that point, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'll strap on and go after you guys a little bit, and so put on the gloves, put on the headgear, and one of the guys that was watching afterwards, and admittedly I got beat up pretty good, but true to form, I just kept going, and even when I get rocked, like just kept giving them everything I could, and give them a good sparring session. And afterwards, one of the guys said, "Holy cow, you're like a honey badger out there." And at the time, I didn't really know what that was. That was when the videos were coming out with the guy that kept doing the honey badger voice, like the voiceover for a honey badger. And so then when I looked it up, and I was like, oh, small guy, ferocious, and never quits. Like, yeah, I guess that kind of sticks. So the nickname fit, and it stuck.
Very nice. And how many years have you been training in Muay Thai boxing?
At this point, it's about 11 years total.
Okay. And did you do most of your time at the Blast then?
Yeah, I did. I was mostly at the Blast. I did a little bit of work with a couple of the other gyms in the area, and also when I lived in Milwaukee, did some kickboxing with Kung Fu gym that I belonged to over there.
Okay, very nice. Have you done anything before Muay Thai boxing, or is your background 100% Muay Thai?
Yeah, I was. I wrestled when I was in middle school, and I also was doing Taekwondo at the time, and I did about 2 years of Taekwondo, and then I moved on to Kung Fu, and I off and on with Kung Fu for about 3 or 4 years.
Okay, very nice. Very nice. What is your preferred style?
Definitely Muay Thai kickboxing. I enjoy the clinch, I enjoy the elbows, and I enjoy the traditional aspects of the sport.
Very nice. Yeah, sometimes I see that there's sort of this whole thing that traditional martial arts is bad or ineffective, but I think that traditional martial arts does bring that respect, that tradition, that discipline into the arts and helps others be successful. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of the fighters I've trained or have been around throughout the years all usually have some kind of background in one of the more traditional martial arts, karate or taekwondo, and it gives them something. It spurred them along, to the next step of their career. But it's also something that a lot of them fall back on. I mean, I can think of one of my fighters who, big karate guy, and even though he's a Muay Thai kickboxer and now is a champion, he was a champion for the TBA Rev Gear Championships. He used a lot of karate in his fights. You could see the karate come out during his fights, and absolutely, I mean, it gives you a good background, it gives you a good base, for like the next step up, usually towards the ring sports.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, yeah, because even with my background, that was how it started, was Taekwondo karate, and it helped me learn Muay Thai so much easier. Yeah. I think that really definitely helped, and it's a teaching around kick that way.
Yeah, I mean, they translate. I mean, there's a lot that can be taken from each one, and as Bruce Lee always said, take what you want and put it in, put it in your bucket.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And what sports have you competed in?
Oh man, that list is pretty long. I've been doing athletics for a long time. So um, as a kid, I mean, soccer, baseball, football, tennis. I was a competitive swimmer, triathlete. So there's a lot. If you name a sport, I've probably played it. High school sports, it was mainly football, some ice hockey, swimming, and golf too. I'm an avid golfer as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you really get after it. Very
Yeah,
nice.
that's pretty much every sport. So if anybody says, "Hey, let's go through the football around," it's like, okay, no problem.
Yep, yep. That's what martial arts sort of helped me be able to play a little bit of every sport. I wouldn't say I know I'm not a good hockey player, but I do know how to get on some skates and stay up on it for a while until I get checked. That's where I lose it.
Yeah. That's the tougher part, or skating backwards.
Oh yeah, yep. Skating backwards, can't do it, but give me the puck, let me go forward.
Sure.
Yeah. So, how many years did you compete in Muay Thai?
I started competing in 2011 and was sidelined about 2 weeks before a fight in 2014. I broke my left foot, and so wasn't able to compete. But I started to move into a assistant coach role at that point, and it was kind of a natural fit for me. And at that point, I felt like I was starting to become a better coach than I was a fighter, and so I kind of let the competitive aspect of it, or the competing aspect of it, fall away a little bit as I explored the coaching aspect, and found that I did enjoy the coaching aspect quite a bit. Not saying I would never compete again. It's always on the table. It's just once you hit 40, the opportunities become less and less.
I feel you on that. I'm 41 years old. I had my last fight, and people are like, "Are you going to do it again?" I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fun though, but I think it's rewarding being a coach. Who are your inspirations in Muay Thai boxing? Who do you look to? Famous people, non-famous, local, whatever. Who do you look for?
Yeah, I mean, I would say right off the bat, number one is my coach, Crew Mike Vaughn, the Volt. He played a significant role in my life as far as not only just with Muay Thai, but also with a lot of personal things in my life too. So he's definitely someone that I look up to, because he's always been, like a brother almost to me. So I've always appreciated that. As far as like sport athletes, or Muay Thai athletes specifically, think about like Ramon Deckers. I love watching Ramon Deckers fights because he is kind of that inspiration of, a guy that's not a real big guy, but man, he could hit hard, and he gave you everything he had. There was nothing left on the table in his fights. He went at you with 100% the whole time. Some of the other guys, thinking about like golden age people like Diesel Noy. Love Diesel Noy, watching his fights and just seeing that style, and really that was one of the things I really loved about watching Muay Thai, especially golden age Muay Thai, was that you had so many different styles, and they would mash these styles together, and it was really cool to see, a knee fighter, a Muay Khao versus like Samart, which was more of like a tricky fighter. And then, I mean, Sanchai is always,
yeah. What do you think?
I mean, you can't leave him out of the conversation because he's such a character. He's not just a great fighter and, a great ring expertise person, but he is he's hilarious. His Instagram, or all of his videos that he puts out there. He's a character. And I did get to meet him at a seminar at the Cellar in Minneapolis a few years ago, and even got to get in the ring with him and demonstrate some things with him. I should say he demonstrated on me. And,
you didn't try to sweep him?
I don't think that would have been a good idea. I've seen people try to sweep him, and it just doesn't turn out well. So yeah. So instead, it was a fun time, and he's a super nice guy, and signed some fight shorts for me afterwards and things. So, but definitely someone that I look up to, not only for their being a Nakmoy, one of the greatest Nakmoys ever, but also being just a really nice person, really down to earth person.
Nice. How about Buakaw? What do you think of Buakaw?
I enjoy Buakaw. Buakaw he's kind of that same way. He's a little bit of a character. You watch some of his videos where he's like beating up his pad feeders. And I'm just glad I'm not his pad feeder. Yeah. Or kicking down banana trees. He brings a lot of things to the table, and seeing him fight and seeing the angry Buakaw when he starts throwing the angry Buakaw legs, the leg kicks. Oh man, you can feel every one of those just watching it. So, I like Buakaw. I mean, I could probably name off 100 different fighters that I have watched and have studied and tried to like pick little things from each one, but. Yeah, Buakaw. I mean, if you're talking about leg kicks and just straight aggression, he's probably right up on the top of the list.
I like that he was able to translate it from fighting in Thailand and going straight to Japan and becoming a K1 champion. So he was able to go to a different sport, is kickboxing, and still show the dominance of good, solid Muay Thai. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, his physical and his mental stamina are. Without nobody else really has that. What he has, he can go into the ring, and he's not going to stop from the time the bell rings to the bell rings. I mean, he's always going to be there, and not just like tough body wise, but mentally too. Just being able to, even when fight's not going his way, he's still right in it.
Yeah, definitely. He doesn't give up, and that's a champion. He's definitely a champion.
Yep.
Yeah, and so what is your favorite fight, I guess, between all different sports, whether it's MMA or whatever? What fight has sort of resonated in you, like just one or two fights that definitely say, man, I can watch that twice. I can watch it 3 times more.
Well, I mean, so, I'll give a little shout out to Milwaukee's favorite fighter, Anthony Pettis. The kickoff of the cage against Benson Henderson back when it was that Strikeforce at the time?
WBC.
Yes, that's right, WC. And that fight was amazing. It was such a great fight. It was so close, almost until that moment when he took Benson down and with that kick. And I mean, you'll never see really anything else like that in a live fight. I mean, Connor, will do some things, but that kick was that's like the kick heard around the world.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And then as far as like a Muay Thai fight, I really enjoyed watching Liam Harrison fight against Saenchai.
Okay.
It was maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, whenever that fight happened, and now they're on the same team, but that fight was hotly contested because it was 2 of the best sweep artists in the game. And watching them just go sweep for sweep on each other, was fun. Because it's one of the things I like to do is I like to teach sweeps, and I like to, sweep students whenever I can, just to keep them on their toes a little bit.
Yeah, that was my thing. Also, is sweeps. I used it in my last fight when I was in the Netherlands. Of course, it's kickboxing rules. The guy, everybody does it, so they act like they're getting on my case. But it's like if you sweep somebody, you're right there. You're in their head. They're like, I'm either going to have to throw this kick a lot faster, or I have to throw it somewhere else because I don't want to get caught again. No one ever wants to get swept twice.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's mentally draining too. Having to get off the canvas 3-4 times in a round because you just got dumped on your head. That can be draining for an athlete. So that's part of the game, you know, and it definitely, some people are really good at it. And those people usually are the best fighters.
Yeah. Now, do you still train also?
I do. Obviously coaching eats up most of my time. Not to say it like that, but you know what I mean, like I'm in the gym a lot, and most of the time when I'm in the gym, I'm coaching or you know, doing private lessons, or you know, training with people, or just watching too. You know, when I can, I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well. I have a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so I do a little bit of that as well, the grappling. But as far as Muay Thai, whenever I can get rounds in sparring or rounds in on the bags or the pads, I do that. And lately, with a lot of the Zoom classes, we've been doing a lot of Zoom classes, so I'll do like the Boss Rutan audio type workouts, where I'll just stand in front of the bag and just, you know, just throw his combos on the bag. And so that's been a lot of fun actually during this quarantine time of being able to get back to working the bag for, you know, 30 minutes at a time.
Right. Very nice. Well, is there anybody out there that you'd like to thank for where you are today in your martial arts and professional life and personal life? Is there anybody out there that you'd like to thank?
I mean, there's a laundry list of people that, and I know I would leave some people out, of course, but you know, anybody who's been a coach or a training partner for me over the years, or any of my students. I mean, my students have helped me grow tremendously as well. You know, and then I also thank, you know, you or any of the other local promoters or local martial arts gyms owners who have help to perpetuate the sport and move things forward, because without competitions, it's just a martial art. And Muay Thai, you know, or kickboxing, it's a martial art first, but it's also a ring sport, and you need that competitive aspect. So I thank you guys as well for that. Yeah, I think, and everybody else that I can think of, you know, that's been a positive influence on my life, you know, those would be people I would thank as well too.
Very nice. Well, thank you for joining Bushido 3. I hope to speak with you again, and good luck to you and your team. And we'll touch base throughout the upcoming future. Okay.
Great. Thank you very much, Lawrence. Sawadi Cup.
Thank you.
Awesome.